Hey, good Tuesday morning, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. What a wild day we had on Monday. Really was not a tornado setup. Even in retrospect, looking back at the ingredients in place, it was not a tornado environment. And it actually probably saved us, even though we had three storms spin up funnel clouds. They weren't very strong rotating funnel clouds, and it doesn't look like anything touched down, which is thankful because if we did have a more conducive environment, those storms could have been much stronger, producing much more damaging tornadoes. But goes to show you that even in an environment that's not conducive for tornadoes, if you get the right set of ingredients, some kind of boundary setting up with these storms, you can get some to spin. Now, we don't anticipate anything like that today. The ingredients are even lower today, but the threat is never zero when you have thunderstorms and a big low pressure in the area. The bigger threat, obviously, is what we've seen throughout the overnight and this morning. Flooding. We've seen a lot of flood warnings, flood advisories, flood watch has been expanded. This low pressure system back over Tennessee, it's not moving. It's just going to be rotating in spokes of energy and tropical moisture all day long. Now, it's not going to rain the entire day. I think that's the big thing. When you see these high chances of rain, that has nothing to do with duration or intensity. It just means the chance of seeing rain at some point during the time period. And those chances are high. You're going to see rain at some point today, but there'll be breaks. As we go into the afternoon now, I would expect with the heating of the day, we're going to see more of these showers and storms fill in, and they're all getting pushed up against the mountains. And that's my concern. Areas in western North Carolina particularly could see tremendous amounts of rain. In fact, the flash flood guidance, this is the 3-hour flash flood guidance, is pretty low across the Piedmont and back into the mountains. And if you start looking at some of the excessive rainfall outlooks today, you see that moderate, or what would technically be a high risk for us for the mountains and foothills, and then that medium risk in yellow. Tomorrow, the whole area is in a medium risk again. And then on Thursday, medium risk again. Could even go higher depending on the rain the next couple of days. But by going Friday into Saturday, you see those chances of flash flooding begin to go down. So let's look at the futurecast today because it's going to look a lot like the current radar into the afternoon. So we'll stick with some short range rapid refresh guidance, just the 48-hour loop here of our futurecast. And you can see how things will develop into the afternoon with the heating of the day. That's when things start cooking again and you get all these thunderstorms and these lines possibly developing. What's interesting is you see these lines developing, and if they move into the mountains, they kind of intersect like a fire hose and just dump rain over the same spots again and again. So you get the idea. Into today, tonight, into early tomorrow morning, that there's not much change. That's a lot of moisture in the next 48 hours moving in. Now, again, there'll be some lulls in the activity as the bands kind of reorient themselves, but this is tomorrow afternoon. You can see that line. And again, I'll loop this. This is a 48-hour futurecast. Kind of shows you the setup that's going to be over us for a while. And because of all this, obviously flash flood watches have been extended for a big chunk of the area. Let me show you those watches. So if we show you some of the watches, you can see the areas in green are currently under a flash flood watch. That is in effect through Thursday afternoon. The reds are flood warnings and the lighter greens are flood advisories. So a big chunk of the western Carolinas, impacted by this flash flood risk. In fact, if we look at the forecast for more rain, this is the 1-day rainfall forecast, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Let's go into 5 days. This gets us into Sunday morning. You can see, we'll pause it right there. You could see some of these totals, again, 4 to 5 inches across the Piedmont, but some of these areas in the mountains, those eastern facing slopes, those are the ones that could see 7, 8, 9 inches of rain. So yeah, take this pretty seriously. This is going to be a wet couple of days. It won't rain the entire time. But again, if you get under one of these heavy rain bands, they're very efficient rainfall makers, meaning they're producing 3 to 4 inches of rain in a very short period of time. Stay weather aware and be ready for more waves of rain over the next 3 days.